The past 3 days would see various of the role players from here in South Africa and from the African continent just coming through into Johannesburg to thresh out ideas on making connectivity a reality for all. So we see the ICT sector saying there's still a long way to go. Here at home in South Africa, we have about over 20 million of those residents that are not connected, and these ideas that have been canvassed here will go into South Africa's presidency, ensuring that at least there's a difference coming through for those that are looking to be connected. I'm going to bring into the conversation now Sunil Piyarlall, who'll just give us a sense of the past 3 days. Sunil, really when you look at it, there are issues that have been canvassed, there are challenges, there are shortcoments, there's a lot that needs to be done here. But we see industry role players, really optimistic about their future, as we see government as well coming through to align all of these efforts with policy. Let's start by just reflecting on where we are right now, where we come from, and how do we really see this particular conference coming through to bring about change.
Thank you, Katlego. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers. I think let's reflect and go back to about the 15th century. I know it's 500 years back, but let's look at the African continent in that context. And let's look at what has happened then. When we had the Dutch East India Company starting to link the East to the West for trade. And Africa as a continent used as a safe haven, as landing stations along its coastlines. I mean, most viewers would relate to the Cape of Good Hope. And a lot of the wealth from the East going to the West, but very little distributed on the African continent. Let's fast track 500 years later and look at where we are. So back in the 15th century, all the goods were transported on the surface of the ocean and very little distributed in Africa. 500 years later, we have all the traffic submarine, all the traffic under the ocean. In terms of petabytes of information being exchanged between the East and the West, we've got landing stations all across the African coastline, yet Africa remains the least connected continent in the world. We have over 700 million people not having connectivity. And I think that is what the collaboration that SATA brings together at this conference, and OpenServe taking chairmanship to drive that the recommendations from this conference, to see that connectivity change, to see us unlock the potential of Africa.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the ideas that are coming through from role players here that would go into the recommendations. I mean, we're really looking at South Africa defining itself where this chairmanship is concerned, coinciding with our G20 presidency as well. You see a lot of players from the SADC region saying that presents an opportunity for South Africa's chairmanship to really become a success and to come through with a tangible difference, especially for those that are in the rural area.
Absolutely. I think, we hosted the G20 in South Africa this year. Our CEO, Serame Taukobong, heading up the B20, and now OpenServe taking over chairmanship of SATA and trying to get all of these SADC countries, the CEOs, the leaders in the telecommunications industry together to collaborate and provide connectivity to Africa, particularly to the rural connectivity. We're trying to get the digitization of Africa taking place. We want to see digital transformation go across the continent. We want to see artificial intelligence, generative AI, agentic AI bring about change in Africa and stimulate the potential of Africa. So I think that is what this conference is going to bring us. We've been discussing a lot of this over the last 3 days, and we want to now take that forward and see OpenServe take a very active role in making sure whatever recommendations came out of this conference gets actually implemented.
Let's just wrap it up with some of those recommendations and look to the future, looking at really what comes out of here. I mean, it's been 3 days of those ideas. It culminated to the chairmanship and those recommendations that will need to be actioned. What are some of those issues that are coming out that we are taking forward?
Yeah, so let's first talk about one of the recommendations being collaboration. We want to see collaboration between all the major telecoms operators within SADC and see us work together to connect Africa. The second one, trying to bring economic growth. And we want to see that this conference actually makes insightful, meaningful, and more importantly, impactful difference on the African continent. So I think connectivity will help us digitize, will bring about digital literacy, will bring about e-health, and everything else that goes with artificial intelligence and generative AI.
How do you see?
From a policy guideline, we were honored to have the Honorable Minister Molatsi present here with us. And he's made a lot of commitments together with the Group CEO of Telecom to drive collaboration, to drive connectivity on this continent, and to try and get a seamless fiber across the continent, across SADC, and remove cross-border nuances in terms of connectivity. There's also talk of getting the mobile operators to collaborate and remove the roaming tariffs from one country to the next in in SADC. So you'll see a lot of that come through, and more importantly, you'll see that being driven actively. There's been a lot of talk over the last 30 years, and there's been a lot of talk about the African Union's 2030 vision for SADC. And I think you're going to start seeing that being implemented over the next 5 years.
Sunil, thank you very much for giving us your time. Sunil Piyarlall coming through here, just giving us a sense of the past 3 days, how it has fared. And you see them just really optimistic as South Africa, looking at moving some of these conversations forward in ensuring that there is transformation and transformation that is meaningful for all of those that are a part of the SADC region. I'm Katlego Legodi for SABC News at the Sandton Convention Center.